What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are at our first official track day at Thunder Hill West. Now, I'm in the beginner group. We've done some mods to the car to get me there. It may not look like a beginner because of the things we have. These are pretty serious mods for a track car, but we're doing the beginner class because I have never been actually on a racetrack like this. I've done a drag strip, I've done autocross, but now we're going to the road course. So the first session, we're going to have an instructor with us. He's gonna actually be driving in front of us. We're gonna follow in line and just get a feel for how everything's working out there on the track, because you have flags, you have point bys, you have lines now. And so it's really about understanding everything and being safe. So that's where we're starting out. But in case you guys aren't familiar with the car, this is like version, 7 of this car? We're working with 305 squared NT01s. So these are 100 treadwear tires. These things are legit. So we're gonna put these through their paces today. We also have forged wheels, which are fully custom. I did the custom brushed clear, so a little bit more mature from my black on black look. We still have the Whipple, and other than that, everything else is kind of the same. But you may not see it, we're no longer on bags. So that is a big change that's really gonna affect how this car feels. And overall, even on the first autocross day I did with it, has made a massive difference. So we have Fortune Auto 510s, Hypercoast springs, custom everything from them. And we even had to go negative about 2.8 in camber just to fit these wheels. So really a lot to come together to get this package where it's at. And today we're gonna finally hit the track. That was an intro clip from a few weeks ago at the track, and you're noticing that I don't have too much footage actually there. And there's a couple reasons why. The main reason and why I'm making this video is because I want to set that expectation of your first real track day, because I did the autocross, which is completely different, but this was a dedicated track day, and there's a few things you need to know before you go, and there's also a few things that I learned about my car as I went. The first thing you need to know is that you really do need to bring and pack everything that you might need. Some spare tools, potentially tape, potentially, I don't know, a jack. There's a lot of different things that you're gonna need for the track, and I was very overwhelmed with that alone. On top of that, there's a big learning curve about how to park in the paddock, who you're with, actually how to enter and exit the track. I never thought that would be something that you'd have to be concerned about, but that is actually something you need to learn properly and how to do that safely. When you first get there, it's about safety. So they go through, check your car, make sure you don't have anything loose, make sure that the car is actually roadworthy and it's safe for the track, which is pretty simple. This is a street car for the most part. But after that, of course, you're gonna need a helmet, you're gonna need a long sleeve shirt, long pants, things like that. Those are all self-explanatory, pretty basic anywhere you go. And that was pretty easy. After that, you go to your driver's meeting, and for the beginners group, that was a huge learning curve because we're talking about different turns, different like entry points, different track layouts, things that I really have only known by playing video games, but when you're there in person, things get a little bit more real. On top of that, you also need to learn the flags. Those flags are how the towers communicate with you and what you might expect out there. So caution, hey, there's a car pulled off to the side, broken down, right in your blind spot basically. Hey, black flag, we need to come talk to you, or you're kicked off the track. I definitely got a couple of black flags from that, which I'll talk about a little bit later. This video isn't to freak you out and to stop you from hitting the track. This is actually just setting those expectations so you're a little bit more comfortable when you go there. The next thing is your first few sessions as a beginner. Now, don't try to ego drive this, but I was out there and I was just trying to keep pace with a Hyundai Veloster. Now, keeping pace is pretty simple in a car like this, but it was really about learning the braking zones, learning about the lines, learning about how to enter and exit, how to overtake, very basic things. Now, because I'm in the beginner class, we're still doing point bys. It's not anything too complicated. You know, it's basic, point out the window, point over the roof if you want to pass on your right. Pretty simple stuff there, but just doing a few drills and practicing so everyone felt comfortable out there. This particular experience was hosted by Turn 8 Racing, in which I was a beginner with my buddy Sabir. It was our first time ever actually on a track. He actually had an off, which I'll put some clips in because it's fun now that we can look back at it. He's completely fine, car's fine, just some cosmetic stuff, but just different things that allow you to test the limits safely. I think those are the real benefits of a track, because you're not going straight to jail. He was able to speed past me off on the track and we drove home together, laughed about it. But as I was saying, this one was hosted by Turn 8 Racing. And again, I didn't ego this. I just said I was a beginner. I followed around a Veloster for the first 2 sessions. Then we had about 2 or 3 open sessions, and those sessions were 20 minutes each. In those sessions, that is where you find out what mods you did and how are they actually gonna perform. because we do a lot of things to be a track car or to look like a race car. Until it's time to do race car stuff, you don't realize those mods actually could hurt you. Now, one of the first things I found the limits to was braking performance. Now, this car is not light by any means. It is a full interior. I have subwoofers, I've got speaker upgrades, I've got the supercharger added on there. It's not stripped to be lightweight at all. This is a full street interior. So I did have some braking issues because of that, and brakes get really hot. Keep in mind, this was also like an 100-degree day out at Thunder Hill. So it was already hot out ambient, but then you add all this stuff and we're racing, it's really, really hot. And that, I think, boiled my brake fluid. I had brake fluid spew out in the rear barrels of my wheels. I don't know exactly where that came from. I cleaned it up. I tried to see if things were leaking after. I couldn't tell that they were leaking anymore, so I'm keeping my eyes on that, but I did notice really spongy pedal feel about 7 minutes into a 20-minute session. And so then I had to start backing off a little bit. Now, under the hood, I also have a Gen 5 Whipple supercharger. That's a 3-liter supercharger, puts down about 630-ish wheel horsepower. Now, this is probably not the setup to learn how to drive on the track. This is a lot of power, a lot of weight, a lot of handling skill that you need to have for this chassis. But this is where we started, because this is what I have. So with this car, I did notice that the heat soak of that supercharger definitely affected us. Again, it was really hot outside, but when you're pushing this thing, that cooling system is really having to work overtime to keep it cool on its own. On top of that, and this is by no means the cooling system's fault, but the car's AC was broken. So I got that fixed recently, but on that day, I had no AC. And this is about driver fatigue as well. So you will tire yourself out driving that hard mentally, maybe not physically, right? Like you're not having to crank the wheel and no power steering, but mentally in the heat, it is exhausting. I drank probably a gallon of water and I didn't pee once. That is how hot it was out there. Now, this all came to a halt whenever the car started really acting up on me. And again, I did not trailer the car. I don't have a tow rig. I don't have a trailer or anything like that. So I drove this with a bunch of tools in it out to the track, and I needed to make it home. So what I was finding is that when I was on the straightaway, I would be in 3rd gear, wide open throttle, letting it rip, going into 4th. As I would shift into 4th and go back to the floor, back to wide open throttle, the throttle body would close on me. And the car would lug, trying to keep itself alive with the throttle body stuck shut. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a lot better than throttle body stuck wide open and me banging off redline all the time. But this was still really scary at first because I did have cars starting to pass me on that. I needed to find a safe way to pull off. Luckily, right after that is the lane, like the staging lane. So I was able to pull off. I let the car, I turned it off, let it sit for a minute, and turn it back on. No big deal, it started going fine. So then I waited for the tower to point me in and I got back on my session. That happened 2 other times, and on the last time, it threw a check engine light that was flashing. Now, if you guys don't know, a normal check engine light just turns on. That means pull over, check your code, see what's going on. Flashing means shut down immediately. And so I got really nervous about that because I don't want to build a motor. I don't want to not have to make it home. And this was already a really hot, super tiring day. So I pulled off, shut the car off completely, started it up, drove into the pits. Now keep in mind, I got black flagged twice while doing this because they wanted me off the track. Basically saying, you're a liability, get off the track until you go fix this thing. But I pulled it off and I read the codes and it was just the actuator was stuck shut. So I think that's something to do with the voltage of the throttle body, but that is one of the things that I need to fix. Actually, it's one of the 2 things I really need to fix. 1, the throttle body. 2, brake fluid, possibly brake pads, just get a little bit more aggressive. And 3, which probably should be starting to look at, is the cooling system. Because I want to have peace of mind that when I'm ripping on this thing, I'm not going to overheat and blow the motor. And so that might be something to invest into. Now I'm doing some research. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any recommendations on pads, on fluid, on cooling systems, because I could use it. I'm very new to this stuff, but I think the Castrol SRF is a really good fluid. I think there's Motul fluid as well that's really good. I've looked at Carbotech pads. I think those are really good, or what I've read online are really good. And then on top of that, I think there's a few cooling systems out there that might help. And also I think I probably need some aero because this stuff all looks really cool, but I want some active downforce. I want some active cooling brake ducts. And I think that's gonna be part of the next round of mods. Now, the last thing which I can ponder this question a little bit is, do we just keep this car how it is, and do we go focus on another chassis for a build? That's something that I pondered quite a bit. There's a few different domains of racing that have really been sparking my interest, and one of them is drifting. I have my eyes on a few different chassis, but drifting and buying and building a dedicated car is at the top of my list. So if I were to do that, let me know what you guys think down below. Should I get like a Corvette? I've been keeping my eyes on C6s a lot. Should I get like another S197, maybe a 10 through 12, maybe a 4.6, that's a 2010. Those are kind of the bastard childs in a way, so you could pick them up pretty cheap. I don't know, I got my eyes on a few different things, but I'm liking where this is going. I wanna slowly do those mods because I think the journey is half the fun. I don't wanna just rush it and get it done. I kinda wanna bring you guys along with us on that journey, and then also look into other domains of racing and building dedicated cars that can just be thrashed on. Because although I drive the crap out of this thing now and I really wanna start pushing it, this car does have a lot of sentimental value for me. So I don't wanna go too crazy on it and end up really wadding this thing up. That would be my biggest fear. But I think over time, buying maybe another chassis that I don't care too much about or care less about sentimentally, and just thrashing on it could be a really, really good option. I know it's been a while, but I'm gonna be pumping out some new content on the Mustang, maybe a new build, maybe some more stuff on the Bronco. I've always got mods to throw on that thing. So go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please comment and like, and I'll catch you guys next time.